Do you know that in a world where sharing every meal, every outfit, and every thought has become second nature, there are people who choose not to post on social media at all? While most scroll, snap, and share, this quiet minority opts out of the digital spotlight. Their silence often confuses others. Are they shy, mysterious, secretive, or simply indifferent? Yet behind that choice lies a deep and fascinating psychology. The people who don't post aren't necessarily antisocial. Rather, they may be operating with a different set of emotional, cognitive, and philosophical values. To understand them is to understand something essential about the human need for privacy, authenticity, and control in an age of constant exposure. The decision not to post on social media can stem from several overlapping motivations: psychological self-protection, value orientation, personality traits, and even philosophical beliefs about life and meaning. While social media platforms have conditioned billions to seek validation through likes, followers, and views, those who refrain often demonstrate an inner security that doesn't rely on digital applause. They might still use social media to observe or stay informed, but their silence represents an intentional act of autonomy. It's less about disengagement and more about selective participation, choosing when, how, and if their voice should enter the collective noise. Psychologically, people who avoid posting often score higher on intrapersonal intelligence, meaning they possess strong awareness of their internal world, emotions, and motivations. They derive satisfaction from self-reflection rather than social affirmation. This type of person might enjoy an event without the compulsion to document it. Their focus is experiential, not performative. When they choose not to post, it is not necessarily an act of rebellion but of presence. They may intuitively sense what research has now confirmed, that constantly externalizing experiences through photos, captions, and updates can actually reduce memory retention and emotional connection to the moment. In contrast, those who post frequently tend to integrate self-expression and identity performance. Their online personas serve as extensions of the self, curated to communicate belonging, success, humor, or aesthetic appeal. The psychology behind posting is not inherently negative. It fulfills the human need for connection, validation, and recognition. Yet, it can also create dependency on external feedback, reinforcing the idea that value is measured through visible engagement. For non-posters, this performative feedback loop may feel hollow or even anxiety-inducing. They might prefer authenticity over appearance and quiet confidence over constant exposure. A central theme in the psychology of non-posting is resistance to performance culture. Social media platforms, by design, operate as stages. Every update becomes a micro-performance of identity, a way to say, "Here is who I am," or "Here is how I want to be seen." People who don't post reject the premise that life must always be shared to be validated. They prioritize living over displaying. Psychologically, this suggests higher self-determination and a stronger internal locus of control. They are guided by intrinsic rather than extrinsic motivation, meaning they find reward in the experience itself, not in others' reactions to it. Another factor influencing non-posting behavior is the avoidance of what psychologists call the social comparison trap. Platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook naturally encourage comparison. As users scroll through highlight reels of others' lives, they may feel inferior, anxious, or dissatisfied with their own. Individuals who abstain from posting may consciously avoid entering this psychological game. They recognize that the curated nature of social media distorts reality and can erode self-esteem. Their refusal to post becomes a defense against the emotional volatility that comes from seeking approval in a digital marketplace of attention. Fear of missing out, FOMO, is another core driver of social media engagement. FOMO can lead individuals to post frequently as a way of proving participation in meaningful experiences. Non-posters often exhibit lower levels of FOMO. They don't need digital acknowledgement to feel included. In fact, they might experience what psychologists term JOMO, the joy of missing out, the satisfaction of being disconnected, grounded, and unobserved. Their sense of belonging derives from intimate offline relationships rather than from online impressions. Research on the psychological benefits of social media breaks reinforces this mindset. Studies show that people who limit or abstain from posting report reduced anxiety, greater focus, and increased feelings of peace. Constant self-presentation on social media can lead to emotional fatigue, an endless cycle of crafting, editing, and responding. Those who don't post avoid this exhaustion entirely. Their mental space remains uncluttered by the pressure to maintain an image. The energy that might have gone into curating an identity online can instead be invested in personal growth, hobbies, or meaningful face-to-face relationships. Personality plays a role as well. Introverts, by nature, tend to recharge through solitude and introspection. They may find posting invasive or unnecessary. Extroverts, meanwhile, often enjoy outward communication and visibility. However, there are exceptions. Some extroverts choose not to post because they value privacy or because their professional lives already require high visibility. In either case, the choice reflects a personal philosophy about how much of oneself should exist in the public sphere. Non-posters, regardless of temperament, exhibit higher privacy orientation and stronger boundaries between their personal and public identities. There's also an element of self-discipline. Social media platforms are designed to be addictive through variable reward systems. Each notification, like, or comment triggers a dopamine hit. Non-posters demonstrate an ability to resist this conditioning. Psychologically, they may possess greater impulse control and emotional regulation. Their satisfaction doesn't hinge on constant feedback, which suggests resilience against external manipulation. This independence aligns with the concept of digital minimalism, where individuals consciously design their technology use to serve their values rather than surrender to algorithmic demands. Furthermore, non-posting can reflect deeper philosophical beliefs about authenticity and meaning. Some people view the act of sharing as diluting the sacredness of experience, believing that life's most genuine moments lose something when transformed into content. For them, privacy is not secrecy, it's sanctity. Their decision to remain silent online mirrors an existential stance, that selfhood is best nurtured in solitude, not performed for an audience. However, it's important to note that not all non-posters are driven by noble motives. Some may feel anxiety, insecurity, or social inhibition that prevents them from sharing. Others may fear judgment, rejection, or the permanence of digital traces. In such cases, silence online may not represent empowerment, but avoidance. The key distinction lies in intention. Voluntary silence is an act of control, while fearful silence is a symptom of discomfort. Nonetheless, both reveal something profound about the modern psyche. That digital exposure is not universally comfortable or desirable. The cultural implications of non-posting are equally significant. In a society that equates visibility with existence, refusing to participate in self-display becomes a subtle act of rebellion. It challenges the assumption that one must be seen to be significant. These individuals redefine presence on their own terms. They communicate authenticity not through words or photos, but through quiet consistency and depth in real-world interactions. Ironically, their absence often makes them more intriguing. Mystery has become rare in an age of oversharing. Another dimension worth examining is how non-posters engage with others who do post. Many still consume content passively, liking, watching, or reading without contributing. Psychologists call this lurking, and while it can sometimes lead to feelings of isolation, it can also allow for detached observation. Non-posters may enjoy learning from others without feeling compelled to reciprocate. They extract value without entanglement. For them, social media is a tool for information rather than identity. In professional settings, this mindset can have mixed consequences. Those who rarely post may miss networking opportunities or personal branding advantages that online visibility can bring, yet they often compensate through real-world credibility, reliability, and word-of-mouth reputation. Their authority derives from expertise, not exposure. Over time, such individuals may develop a quiet power, one grounded in authenticity rather than image management. At its core, the psychology of people who don't post on social media reveals a paradox. In a world obsessed with sharing, True individuality might lie in restraint. To refrain from posting is to reclaim agency over one's narrative, to decide that not every experience requires witnesses. This form of digital silence becomes a statement of identity, discipline, and self-knowledge. It signifies comfort with being unseen, a confidence rooted not in perception, but in presence. As society becomes increasingly digitized, understanding non-posting behavior can illuminate broader truths about human psychology. It reminds us that connection does not always require visibility, and meaning does not always demand validation. Those who don't post live according to an ancient principle now made radical by modernity, that life in its value is intrinsic, not performative. In a culture of exposure, their silence may in fact be the loudest voice of all.